Welcome to Nerdschatting, movie, TV, comic chat. Thanks for tuning in. I like that you got that with me, with the clicks and the clicks at the same time. That's brilliant.
I've got great musicality. I'm a ukulele player.
Nate does not have that. He's got all the musical range of a donut.
Welcome to Nerdschatting, movie, TV, comic chat. Thanks for tuning in.
Hello, James.
Hey.
Welcome to the Nerdschatting podcast. It's just me and you this week.
Brilliant.
I know, right? The dream team?
Best team.
The best team.
MVPs.
MVPs.
Yes.
So Nate's on holiday this week. Is he, or is he on holiday at the...
He's putting some more darkness in his heart.
Poor Nate. Yeah. Nate's on holiday, or he's putting more darkness in his heart, or he's at the Dick Doctor. He's in one of those three places, or he's somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We miss you, Nate. We'll move on. No, so this week we are doing a slightly different format of a podcast this week because I've been incredibly busy at work over the last 3 weeks. I didn't podcast with you guys the week before last. We didn't do a podcast last week because we were just absolutely hammered. So apologies for all of that, everyone. But we're back this week with the most half-assed podcast that we could think up.
Well, what you thought of.
That's right. So there's no news. There's not exactly a main topic this week. No. What we're going to do is what we have been watching or reading, and then we've got some audience interaction with what you guys have been watching and reading.
We're really scraping the barrel.
This is the dregs of us podcasting.
This is the dregs of dregs.
Absolutely. But I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and be rest assured, audience, we will be getting together to have a planning meeting on what we're going to do. So if this sort of situation arises again, we've got a backup plan.
Yeah,
and backup plan of the backup plan.
Absolutely. And we got a message from Nate the other day, didn't we? That he feels that we've lost focus, so we need to sit down and really think about all of this.
Mr. Miyagi has just got us on it.
He has, yeah. So this is my retaining focus. Let's do a half-ass what we've been watching podcast.
Better than nothing, my friend.
Absolutely. Should we do a nerd scene jingle right here?
Do it.
Nerd scene. So this is what the podcast is about this week. It's one great big long nerd scene, and we are including our social media interactions on Twitter in this as well. So I'll tag everyone who replied to us. I'm going to read out every single reply because I'm just that kind of guy. And I will explain what Nerd Scene is. I'll try and do my best impersonation of what Nate does.
Okay.
So Nerd Scene is do you know what? I'm just going to edit something that Nate says from a previous podcast into this bit.
Yeah, but I was thinking that I might have got it if you would have explained it, but
do you want me to give it a go? I can give it a go.
Yeah, but you might fail.
Nerd Scene is a play on words. It's what we've seen, and scene is spelled S-C-E-N-E, but it's a play on the word seen, as in what you and I have seen, which is S-E-E-N. I don't think I do it justice like Nate does.
No, but I think the penny might have dropped.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Right. So you're up first, actually. You've got a couple of things. I think I've had a lot more time. What I've been doing when I'm getting home from work is focusing on me time, focusing on stuff that I want to watch after the kids are in bed, focusing on stuff that I want to watch and I want to read. Yeah. But you've got a couple of things in here, so you go first.
Shall I?
Yeah, please.
Right, so over the weekend, I looked through my Amazon Prime movie list, and Arrival was on there, and I hadn't seen it. And
okay, let me prefix this.
Right.
This is one of Nate's favourite films.
I know.
I think it was one of my top 5 films of 2017.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to say yeah.
Right.
I loved this film. Based on a short story.
It is.
Now you go ahead.
So, I watched the trailer before watching the film, and it seemed really interesting. I was like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's this all about? And you know what? I did thoroughly enjoy it. I got a little bit confused.
Okay, yeah.
I did get a little bit confused at one point. I was like, what's going on
Is
here?
that with the flashbacks, flash forwards?
And yeah, basically, if you understand...
And them sort of not being in the right order?
Yeah, and so what I came to the conclusion of was that if you understood their language, you can actually then look forward in time.
Sure.
Is that about, have I hit the nail on the head or am I wrong?
Yeah.
Kind of?
It came out in 2016, not 2017.
That's close enough.
Apologies.
But I did really enjoy it. I wonder why all aliens have to look like squids.
Yeah, they're very...
it looks like...
insect-like in their appearance, but you never sort of see them clearly enough because you sort of see them behind a massive, great big piece of glass, and then
apart
it's...
from when Amy Adams' character gets like sucked in and she's then in there with...
God, yeah.
Is it Abbott and Costello they call it? I mean,
sure. It's a while since I've seen it.
I've seen it recently.
Yeah,
so it's definitely Abbott and Costello.
Fine, there you go.
But I thought Amy was brilliant.
Yeah,
I thought really good.
Fantastic. The film looks beautiful.
Yes.
It was directed by Denis Villeneuve, or as Nate would say. I call him Dennis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
It's the cinematography. Oh no, it's not done by. It's done by a guy called Bradford Young. I thought it was done by the same guy who did Blade Runner 2049. And that is a different person whose name I've forgotten now.
I wouldn't worry about it.
No, I'm going to worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I really am.
Fine, you carry on. I'll just...
Roger Deakins, I think his name is.
I'll just pause my thoughts, shall I?
Yeah, Roger Deakins. Yeah, sorry, I jumped all over you. Yeah, go ahead.
Again? Right, okay, so, loved it. I like the question it asks is that if you know that something is going to happen, will you do it anyway?
Yeah.
So the fact that towards the end of the film it all came together, and the fact that Amy Adams' character and Jeremy Renner,
Hawkeye,
Hawkeye do get together. They do have a child. They do split up, and the child has a disease that ends up killing her. And Amy knows this, and then tells Hawkeye, and that's why he leaves. Yeah, because he's annoyed that she anyway, but she sets the tone right at the end of the film. And she asks that question, and it is, I think, I don't know what I would do. It's deep, isn't it? It's a very deep film. You get this segment in your life of extreme happiness where everything's going really well, but you know when you get to a certain line that it'll all go horribly but wrong. Everything up to that line is some of the most enjoyable, happiest, life-changing, for a good reason, experiences of your entire life. So knowing it's going to end in that way, would you not experience all those things? You probably wouldn't take all those things away because you know it's going to end badly, right? I think this would be a three beers in pub conversation. Definitely. Absolutely. Definitely. But it was a beautifully shot film. Yeah. Really fantastic. I thought Forrest Whitaker's character was really good as well. Oh, yeah. You know, I thought everyone in the film played their parts very, very well. Still a little... There were some random parts, though. You know, obviously when the aliens land and Amy Adams is teaching and everyone goes, I can understand that. But then she goes into work the next day and there's no one there. So that was a bit weird. I don't know why that happened. I think that's talking about her character, that she's professional. She does the job that she's there to do, and she'll keep on doing that no matter what the circumstances are. So no matter knowing the circumstances of her future, no matter what they are, she'll still go in and do the job of being a parent, being a wife, being a mother. Or doing the job as a lecturer at university. Yeah. Right, okay. Good film. Great film. Yeah, one of Nate's favourites. I really enjoyed it. I think it might have made Nate's cold black heart actually come to life and beat for a very fraction of a second. Millisecond. Yeah, and then it stopped again. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Right. What's next on this list? What's The Cry, James? What's The Cry? Well, The Cry is it's a four-part drama that was on BBC TV, BBC One. I believe it was starring Jenna Coleman. Yeah, it was. She of Doctor Who fame. Exactly right. Yeah. A soap. Yeah, I can't remember. Was it Coronation Street? Or the other one, where they're on a farm? Emmerdale, there you go. Anyway. Or it was none of that. It could have been. Doesn't matter. But, so, the only reason I watched this was last weekend, my in-laws were down, and they watched the first two, so rather than me and the wife sit in another room, whilst my in-laws, who were visiting us, sat in the other room to watch TV, we just sat and watched it. So I saw part 3 and got a little bit hooked. Did you then go back and watch part 1 and 2? No. Oh, Jamie, what are you doing? I fast forwarded, but I watched the final one on Sunday. Pretty horrific. Right, let me read out the synopsis for people. Go and do it. And let's not spoil it for anyone, let's spoil it for everyone. The synopsis is Joanna and Alistair. So Joanna is played by Jenna Coleman. Yep.
and Alice is played by someone called Ewan Leslie.
Yep.
They're young parents who travel from Scotland to a town in Australia to visit family and fight for custody of the husband's daughter, Chloe, against his Australian ex-wife, Alexandra. Alexandra, played by Asha Keddy, whoever the hell that is. On the drive from Melbourne to
Geelong.
Geelong? That's not a real place, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Australia. Sorry, your names are great. On the drive from Melbourne to Geelong, their baby Noah goes missing. Oh, no. Nah, not kids going missing. No.
Well...
In the aftermath of the tragedy, under public scrutiny, their marriage collapses and her psychological state disintegrates. Oh, no. Not kids going missing. I can't stand... as a parent, I cannot stand kids going missing or being harmed. It upsets me.
Yeah, and that is the exact reason why I didn't watch it in the first place.
Oh,
but actually, when you start watching it, things happen and things change. Hashtag no spoilers.
Okay.
Because I think if I did say, it would spoil it.
Right.
What I will say is the synopsis is correct.
Okay.
But not right. I don't know if I'm...
Is she an unreliable... Is she like the narrator of the show, but she's an unreliable narrator?
Who, Jenna Coleman?
Yeah.
The story is played out through her, yes.
And because of her why can I not say psychological? What's wrong with me? Because of her psychological state disintegrating, is she therefore unreliable in what she's presenting as the truth, I say in air quotes?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I would say, let me put it this way.
Is it available?
Is very controlling.
Oh.
And the reason they're going to Australia is that Alistair and Joanna were caught cheating by the wife, and the wife then left to go back to Australia, and now he wants custody of his daughter.
Right.
And will do anything in his power to make sure that happens.
Oh, layers.
Mate,
layers
I'm like baking a cake here.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, all right. Is this available on the iPlayer to watch?
I would certainly hope so.
Or if not, you could probably get it from Amazon Prime coming soon.
I don't know if they ever put anything on there.
I don't know.
But it was really good, really good. And I'm still watching MasterChef Australia, and we're now into top 10, and it's getting exciting.
Oh, now it's getting exciting. So before that was just okay.
No, it's even more exciting.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think I could get any more excited about a TV show.
All right, fine.
Thanks.
So The Cry,
yeah.
I might check that out. MasterChef Australia, I have checked out a couple of episodes here and there. It's fine. I like it. Yeah, I like the guy in the purple suit.
Toad. I call him Toad.
Yeah.
Because he looks like Toad from The Wind in the Willows.
Yes, that's the chap.
Because he wears a cravat.
We're jumping all over the place here. I apologise, but I'm not really that fast. Right, I've got a couple of things here now before we get into audience interaction. Let's keep an eye on the time here, JB. Right, so Nate and Dave, the comic guy, a friend of ours, he's been on this podcast when you were both away, and we talked about Doctor Who.
Dave, the person I went out for a meal with on your birthday?
That's the chap.
Yeah, cool, so I do know him.
Yeah, of course you do. They were basically berating me for a long time to watch Final Space.
Right.
My son also got on in the act and said, Dad, you got to watch Final Space.
Right.
So I watched Final Space.
And let me guess, you loved it.
I tell you what, it's real good. Real emotional, animated TV show that I didn't think was going to have the beating heart that it did.
Right.
And it had that beating heart from episode 1, and it carried it all the way through. And I tell you what, it was great.
Hashtag Netflix?
Yes, it's a Netflix show.
Cool, brilliant.
JB, I cannot say enough. You have got to get Netflix in your life. It will change your life for the better.
Cool.
Honestly, it's really, if you haven't seen Final Space, I'm not going to spoil anything. If you haven't seen that show, I will reiterate Nate's comments. Go and watch it because it's great. If you like Rick and Morty, it's a completely different show to Rick and Morty. But if you like the bits in Rick and Morty that, sometimes it's silly, but sometimes it is really, really makes you think.
Yep.
Final Space is definitely for you. What else have I watched? Oh, that jerk also told me about watching Star Wars Rebels. So I've watched Star Wars Rebels season 1 and 2.
How do you find the time to do this, Ben?
Mate,
do you stay up really late?
Mate, this has been over like the past 3 or 4 weeks.
Right.
I've been doing it on the down low.
Oh, right.
Keeping it chilled so people like Nate don't go, oh, have you seen it? What do you think of it? So I've been doing it to, sort of lessen the impact.
Right.
I've still got 2 seasons of Rebels to watch.
Right.
Season 1 I thought was good.
Yeah.
Season 2, Vader comes into it.
Yeah.
Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And he's badass.
Yeah.
He's not in it all the time. He's only in it for like 4 episodes, but he's superb.
Yeah.
He's like, he's evil Darth Vader again. He's not whiny bitch Darth Vader. He's the Darth Vader that you were scared of when you watched the original Star Wars films.
Right, okay.
Brilliant. It's really good. Really enjoyed it. I'm going to get to season 3 and 4 at some point. They're not on Sky. I may or may not have the ability to get access to them. Yeah, I'll take my time.
You'll sort it.
I'll let it develop.
Okay.
But yeah, I am enjoying it. It is very good. I've started watching Daredevil season 3.
Have you watched all the other Daredevils?
Yes, I have. And I've watched Defenders, which was not great.
Okay.
I've watched 4 episodes of season 3. I have to say, so far, I think it's the best show that the Marvel Netflix, of all the Marvel Netflix shows.
Right.
And the 4th episode last night had an 11.5-minute continual tracking shot of a fight, conversation, escape in a prison that was absolutely superb. No cuts at all. There are, I think, maybe 3 scenes where the main guy, who is Daredevil, swaps out with a stunt impersonator of him, and then swaps back. And I saw it, but I saw it because I knew it was happening. I was like, that wasn't him doing all that. He couldn't survive that. And it was great. It's really, really good. It's I think there's like 13 episodes all told.
Well, the thing is with Netflix and Marvel, aren't there lots of shows being cancelled? So
well, yes, this would have come up in news this week. So, but we're not doing this. We can't be bothered. So I haven't really been keeping up with it. But yeah, Iron Fist was cancelled.
Yeah.
Luke Cage has just been cancelled.
Yeah.
Season 2 of Jessica Jones wasn't great.
No.
So, I don't know. But Punisher's got a 2nd season. That's coming.
Yeah.
Season 3 of Daredevil is absolutely, like I said, it's the best I've seen so far, and I've only seen 4 episodes of it. So, I don't know. I think maybe those shows might be cancelled because it might be the long game with Marvel having their streaming service, their Disney streaming service, and maybe they might transfer over to there and they might do Heroes for Hire or something, which is a comic starring Luke Cage and Iron Fist. So
look at you knowing your stuff.
Well, I know bits and pieces.
Of course you do.
But really enjoying Daredevil season 3. I'll get back to it when I'm doing some ironing tonight. I've been doing season 11 of Doctor Who.
How is that?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I thought the first episode was good, but it was a lot darker than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
The 2nd episode was fine.
Yeah.
The 3rd episode was one of the best episodes of Doctor Who I've seen in a long, long time. I think that this Doctor is brilliant.
Yeah.
I think she... I don't really know what the phrase is I'm looking for here. But I think Jodie Whittaker is going to grow into one of my favourite Doctors.
Right, okay.
I don't think she's there yet, but I don't think anyone who plays Doctor Who is there right from the start.
No.
I think they always sort of evolve. They always sort of find their feet as the first season goes along. And then from the 2nd season, when they're the Doctor, they are the Doctor. So, but this was the most... It was like putting on an episode of a David Tennant Doctor Who and thinking, yeah, this is my Doctor. That was what I got from the last episode. It was called Rosa, and it was all to do with Rosa Parks and when she refused to move from her seat in 1950s America that kickstarted the, no, nothing.
No,
seriously,
no, it's not coming
James,
into my head.
you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Right, tell me then.
Well, Rosa Parks knew Martin Luther King.
Right.
And it sort of started the, what's the phrase I'm after here? It started the...
American Revolution? No,
not the American Revolution.
Civil Rights Movement.
It started the Civil Rights Movement, thank you, that's what I'm after. So you saw that, and you saw that everything that happened there, the Doctor was part of it all the way through, not knowing that she was part of it all the way through.
Right.
Because she'd never been to that part of America before. She knew who Rosa Parks was and was a big fan, obviously. And it was great. And that episode as well, the Doctor has 3 companions at the moment. Mm-hmm. Well, they're just sort of along for the ride, accidentally. One of them is a Pakistani woman, and one of them is is a black guy. They're all from Sheffield, these two, and then there's a white guy who's married to the black guy's grandma, who, spoilers, died in the first episode. First episode was quite dark. And the white guy in 50s America is fine, but the Pakistani woman is called a Mexican, and the black guy is not having a good time. They're in the deep south as well in America, and he's not having a good time. Like, the first person he walks up to is a white American guy, slaps him around the face. And it's like, Jesus Christ, what is going on here? That was the area, that was the time they lived in. That's how black people were treated back then. It was an important episode of Doctor Who. It really, really was. And I loved it.
I really enjoyed Doctor Who right up until the end of Matt Smith, is that right? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And then old Peter Garibaldi. He's not Garibaldi. I can't remember his last name.
Peter Capaldi. Yeah.
Garibaldi's a biscuit, isn't it? Always makes me chuckle. See, makes you chuckle. It's
very good.
I was kind of like, no, I don't like it, so I tapped out.
Sure.
But now I'm hearing quite good things, so it may be that it's time to.
It's changed showrunner. So Garibaldi, as you call him, had a different showrunner to Jodie Whittaker. So it's like a new show. The regeneration has come in. There's a new TARDIS, which I love. There's new title sequences and music, which I love. I am warming a lot to the new Doctor, especially after episode 3. I'm on board. It's great fun.
Cool.
And I should say as well, our friends of the show, another podcast, the We Have a Hulk podcast, they, when they get chance, live tweet the show. So when it's on a Sunday night, they will live tweet, and react to what they're seeing.
Oh, really? That's cool.
I'm so gutted that I can't be a part of that, because Sunday evenings as a parent, it's, bath the kids, get them into bed early enough so they're not knackered the next day. So it's always on at the time when I can't take part in that. So I'm gutted. But anyone listening to this podcast who is on Twitter, go and check out at We Have a Hulk Pod, because they live tweet Doctor Who. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
Right, so this is going to be the main meat and potatoes of our discussion.
Meat and potatoes?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip over this and talk about some things I've been reading, and then we'll get back to The Walking Dead.
As well.
Oh, what have you been reading?
So Nate lent me American Vampire, which So I have been reading that when I've had an opportunity.
And?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it. It's, gory, dark, horrible, sort of like menacing almost type of like, I'm almost scared to turn the page because I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm like, oh, but it is brilliant.
So it's written by Scott Snyder, who listeners of our show or people who follow us on Twitter will possibly know that every now and then I've accidentally insulted, and he's messaged me privately and always been like the nicest guy in the world, saying, "Oh, sorry, I didn't get you on." He's written a couple of things that I've not liked, but I love his Batman run, and I love American Vampire.
Yeah.
It is brilliant. Also, Witches is a new Halloween special coming out next week that he's done with Jock.
Really?
I've got all of that. I've got American Vampire, all the comics. I've got some of the spin-off stuff they did, and I've got Second Cycle for American Vampire as well. It's all brilliant.
There we go.
I love it.
Cool.
I'm really pleased you're reading that, JP.
Yeah, it's good.
Anything else?
No, that's about it.
So I've got my massive reading list backlog. Guess what? Completed it, mate.
Well, all of it?
Read every single thing that was on that backlog.
You didn't set yourself a tough enough goal then, I would say.
Mate, it's taken me 10 months to get through that backlog. What are you on about? Okay, so some highlights of what I've read. I'm up to date on Black Science, which is a fantastic sci-fi adventure through the Eververse. That might not make any sense, but I tell you what, it's brilliant reading. Cool. Really, really good. Rick Remender, Matteo Scalera on the artwork. It's great. Love it. Fatale, Book 1. It's done by Ed Brubaker and artwork by Sean Phillips. Same guys who I really enjoyed their run on Kill or Be Killed.
Yep.
And I recently, over the summer as well, read The Fade Out.
Yep.
It's really, really good. It was a bit slow to start, but when it got going, my God, it was good. And it's all there's this woman in the 50s in America who may or may not have been alive for a long time. She may have some supernatural powers going on. It's not quite been explained to me yet.
Okay.
There might be some cult of people looking after her who need to get her because of her power. And the leader of that person may or may not be a monster. And it's brilliant. Cool. It's so good. And she has an impact upon every single man who comes across her path. She accidentally or maybe on purpose influences them into sort of falling under her spell.
Yep.
And they never come out of it.
I'd love to have that power.
In a good way. But it's really, really good. Really enjoying it. I've now finished all of Descender, which didn't end how I thought it was going to, actually.
Are we getting spoilers?
No, I won't do spoilers. Oh. But what I will say is it's not finished there. That was going to be the end of it, but it's actually going to come back next year as Ascender.
Right, okay.
So that was fun. I also listened to, as again, listeners of the podcast might be aware, big fan of the Invincible comic books.
Yes, you are.
And there's the Invincible podcast, and they recently had an episode on Science Dog. Now, before I lose anyone, let me explain what Science Dog is. Science Dog is a character in comic books in the Invincible universe.
Right.
But Robert Kirkman originally intended him to be an actual comic book character. So what they did is they moved him, they did like their own sort of Science Dog story just as a bit of fun. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's a time travel story. It's a superhero tale. It's got like a massive twist in it where you don't think something's going to happen and it does. It's got like a dystopian alternative future that he has to then go back and reset. It's absolutely brilliant. And it's all done in 2 comics.
Really?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's, if you want to know what, this is what the Invincible podcast described it as, and I will literally steal what they said. If you want to know what Invincible is like, boiled down into 2 comics, read Science Dog. Because Science Dog is like a snapshot of Invincible boiled down to 2 comics. Invincible is that, but spread out over 144 issues. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it the right way, but if you want to know if you're going to enjoy Invincible, read Science Dog, and then if you enjoy that, go and read Invincible.
Well, it's going to be on Amazon Prime, isn't it? They're doing a show for Invincible, am I right?
Yes, they're doing a movie, and they're doing an animated TV show, on Amazon, So, and you told me I needed to watch it, but because of the amount of comics that I've got to read to get up to speed. So if you've got Science Dog, I'll lend you Science Dog.
There we go.
I think you'll really enjoy it.
That's exactly what I wanted.
Right, let's go back then. This is going to be our main topic of conversation. It's not a main topic. It's we've both watched The Walking Dead.
Yes, we have.
Season 9, episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Your thoughts? Because you said last night, I gotta get something off my chest. I want to know what that is. What's going on?
So, I've been in. The first episode was really slow, I thought. Oh, God. And Nate watched... So Nate talked about it on the podcast, and I hadn't seen it. I basically said what I thought was going to happen, and he kind of said, well, yeah, you're probably right. So I watched it, and I was like, oh, okay. Then watching 2 and 3, which I watched 3 last night and 2 the night before, I'm really interested. But what I need to get off my chest is that Rick seems to be going around and almost in he seems to be giving up in some respect. And we all know that there's this big hurrah around this is his last 2 episodes, or something's going to be happening to his character.
Oh, last 9 episodes.
Yeah, whatever it is. So, it almost feel like he knows he's leaving, and whether he's just going to pack his bags and just walk away from everything, I don't know. I liked how episode 3 ended last night. I thought that was kind of like, hello, what's going on here?
Yeah,
I've purposely not talked about it with Nate because you are a big Walking Dead reader. So
I am. And I don't want to go into spoilers too much at this point because Nate asked us not to. But at the same time, I don't think I can talk about it.
Nate. No, I don't care.
You don't care about Nate?
He can catch up. He doesn't have to listen to this. If we're going to do spoilers, and if he is listening, #spoilers, Nate, now.
Okay, #spoilers for The Walking Dead Season 9 now. I think there's a fake out going on here. A fake out.
Okay.
Let me explain. Let me address what you said about Rick, first of all. So when, in Season 8, again, spoilers for The Walking Dead Season 8, when Carl died, he wrote a load of people a letter.
Yep.
Okay. And in that letter, his letter to his dad and his letter to Negan and all that sort of thing.
Every life matters.
Exactly. And, there's got to be a better way of doing things. So Rick is almost taking those words now as his words to live by. We can't go around just killing people anymore. We've got to do better.
Yep.
We've got to rebuild civilization. That starts by rebuilding relationships with people. And that is, I'm not just going to kill you if I don't like what you're doing. We're going to work out a different way.
Right.
So I kind of like that.
Yeah.
And the other sort of undercurrent of plot through episode 2 and 3 where people just keep on going missing and we're not quite sure what's going on.
Yep.
Now there was a truck. This is massive spoilers now, okay? So please, if you don't want anything that may or may not happen in season 9 to be spoilt for you, skip ahead 5 minutes.
At least.
There was a wagon or a cart or something that set out from the Saviour's compound that was going to Hilltop that had a load of ethanol on it. Yeah?
Was it fuel?
Yeah, I think so.
Whatever.
That went missing.
Yeah.
At the end of end of episode 3, you see that the Oceanside guys are kidnapping and killing Saviours.
Yes.
Now, did you spot that one of the girls from Oceanside said, when you killed Gregory, you basically gave us the nod, the go-ahead, that we can go and take our revenge on these people from the Saviours?
Yeah.
That cart went missing before they killed Gregory. I think, if I'm remembering it correctly.
Okay.
It went missing halfway through episode 1.
Right.
It's not just the Oceanside people who are taking Saviours and killing them.
Who is it then?
It's the big bad of season 9. It's also, I suspect, the big bad that's going to end up killing Rick. Do you want me to tell you who it is?
Is this the bugger, I can't remember the name you told me. Are these the people with the helicopter?
I think that might be someone else.
So what's A and B?
I don't know.
Oh, what?
I don't know. That's not in the comic books.
Isn't it?
No, I think that might be related to something that is happening sort of now in the comic books.
Okay, because they're talking about trafficking of people, and A
Yeah.
and B are different types, I guess, and they want
A B is someone they can probably keep, and an A is someone they want to get rid of, maybe?
Well, and are they trying to create a hierarchy of, dominant people to create a new government or a new law? I don't know, but I just thought it was brilliant. I forget the character's name who used to live in the junkyard. Please tell me.
Mary, I think she's really called, or is it Mary? Or
anyway,
it doesn't matter.
The fact that she's still in touch and with the people that she was basically, I think she said it was human trafficking.
I think so. Yeah.
But then you've got these. You've told me before, but it's the people that walk with the walkers.
Whisperers, they're called in the comic book.
Hey, do it.
But I think in a trailer that we saw for this season, they are. I don't think they whisper. I think they sort of make noises like the walkers.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there might be. I think the bridge that they're rebuilding might have been taken down by other means than they suspect. I think some of the people who went out, who were kidnapped with the ethanol or whatever it is on that cart, were probably taken out not by the Oceanside people, but by the Whisperers.
Right.
Or whatever they're going to be called in this season of the show. The Whisperers basically wear the skin of the dead and walk amongst them. And in the comic book, they talk really slowly, quietly. And they say, you make too much noise. And they appear out of an army of the dead and they just stab you, slit your throat, cut you up, take you off. And suddenly, the next day, they're wearing your skin. It's honestly, it
sounds amazing.
In the comic book, it was freaking scary for about 3 or 4 issues. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why are these zombies talking? Why? What is going on? And then there's the reveal, and it's like, Jesus Christ, that is incredible.
So in the comic books, is Rick still around?
Yes.
Okay.
In the comic books, yeah.
Because then Maggie's we know that Maggie's going as well, because that's already been talked. Well, we don't know for sure, but this season, Rick and Maggie are going. So how is Maggie going to go?
Okay, so we're still in spoilers for season 9. Let me tell you what happens in the comic books, all right?
Yes, please.
And this is what I suspect is going to happen in the show.
Yeah.
And it's going to really set the hairs racing, okay?
My hairs are on edge now.
In the comic book, about, I think, 7 or 8 issues after you meet the Whisperers, and you find out what they're all about, and that is they are devolving humans. They want to live amongst the dead and eat like raw cattle, that sort of thing, and that's how they survive. I know it's weird. they say, we'll leave you alone as long as you don't come across this boundary into our territory. You do that, and we will come after you. Mm-hmm. Now, they don't realise where the boundaries are.
Who don't?
The survivors, like Rick's crew, and the Whisperers take their revenge. And their revenge is they cut off the heads of several key characters in the comic book, and they stick them on poles along what they consider their boundary.
Right.
So a load of people go missing who are like sort of key characters, sort of people you've just met in the comic, and then suddenly they're found with all their heads chopped off. In the comic book, I can tell you who those people are, some of the key people.
Yeah, do it.
Rosita is one.
No.
Ezekiel is one.
No.
Those are the main two, I think. In the show, I think it's going to be Rick and Maggie.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. I think they will be identified as the leaders, and they'll be killed.
No. I don't believe you.
Well, yeah, I might be wrong. But if that's a way to write them out of the show, that's the way to write them out of the show.
Do you want to do double or quits on the popcorn that you owe me? Are you that confident?
No, I'm not that confident at all. I'm not that confident at all. I can tell you that a British actress has been signed on to play Alpha, the leader of the Whisperers.
She was
Samantha Morton.
She was in Minority Report.
That's right. Yeah.
One of the whatever they were called.
Yeah.
I think this is really interesting because the fact that both groups, as we know, The Walking Dead in from us now, so not knowing the comic books and the Whisperers, you know, Maggie, Daryl, Rick, they're nails. They can take a zombie down. But because they don't do anything. But if you go and you become complacent with it, and I'm just going to go and knife and stab you in the head, and
they block that, and they come at you with a machete.
You don't see it.
Exactly,
mate.
Honestly.
This could be potentially season defining to really kickstart the Walking Dead, re-kickstart the Walking Dead franchise.
Could do.
Oh, I've got a little bit. You've made me a little bit excited about it. It's good.
Good.
Nice.
Right, here ends spoilers for The Walking Dead.
We're done.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Right, let's do some audience interaction, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
So I asked a question on Twitter, and I should have had this prepared, but I didn't because I'm an idiot.
Why?
I don't know, because I'm an idiot, mate. So I sent out the tweet tomorrow, that's today. Ben and James, that's you and I, are talking about what they've been watching and reading. Tell us what you've been watching and reading, and we'll read it out for everyone to hear. So that's what we're going to do. So I am Jack's regular irregular musings, which is I am Jack's musings. It says, you find me in the midst of a nostalgia trip, rewatching Veronica Mars and reading Timothy Zane's Now Legends Thrawn finale, The Last Command. I've stopped by monthly comics and instead get volumes via Comixology when released, and invariably when they're on sale, and he's just finished reading Kill or Be Killed, which I talked about earlier on. That's Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. Yep. Fantastic. I've not read any of the Legends Star Wars books, and I never watched Veronica Mars. Never. It just wasn't for me.
No.
You seen any of them?
No.
You read any of those Star Wars Legends books?
I don't really read.
No, you don't, do you?
No, I can't.
Wow. Well, thank you very much, Jack. That sounds good. Let me know what you think of Kill or Be Killed, which is also about to be made into a film.
Is it?
Yeah, being directed by the guy who did John Wick.
Ooh.
I know, right? Robert, that's at That Robster, said he's just finished Haunting of Hill House, and that was fantastic. And he's really enjoying This Is Us Season 2.
Yep.
And he's halfway through Daredevil.
Well, I can tell you that...
And he said that fight scene in episode 4.
That's you.
Yeah.
My wife watches This Is Us.
I've heard nothing but good things about it, but I've never seen it.
It is really good.
What's it on?
It's on More 4.
Oh, okay.
It was on, I think it was on E4, then it went on to More 4, and then it's gone to a later time on More 4. But I can guarantee you that you will cry at every episode.
Didn't someone die because of a toaster or something?
Do you want me to tell you?
Nah.
Okay.
I might watch it.
It wasn't a toaster, but well, not that I know of. But it's a really good show. Again, there's lots of toing and froing. It's based on a family. Do you want me to tell you or not?
Nah.
Okay, save it. It's good, but it's
up to season 2.
Yeah, and I think I don't know. Is it season 2? There's like 20 odd episodes. It's quite a lot.
Okay, but are they like half-hour episodes?
No.
Oh, they're hour episodes.
They're like 45-minute episodes.
Oh, Okay, well, maybe it's an investment for the future.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rob. I do want to get to The Haunting of Hill House. It's a new Netflix show.
There's a lot of good things coming on about
Yeah,
this.
and a lot of people are watching it as well.
Yeah,
so.
loads of people, but I'm wondering if it's too scary, and I don't have Netflix.
Sure, I do. And I like a scary thing, and I want to watch something scary for Halloween. So maybe that'll do.
Okay.
The Earth 919 podcast, that's at Earth 919 pod, said, oh man, definitely this weird read, but it's solid, and that is American Vampire.
Yeah, it's good.
So well done, those guys. Yeah, I've read it all. I think I replied and said, check out Second Cycle as well, because it's vampire cosmonauts. Mm-hmm. There you go. How'd you like them apples? The Valkyries, which is at Valkyries blog, are watching Haunting of Hill House, and they're doing 31 days of horror movies. A lot of people are doing that, actually. They're watching a horror movie per day. Super Nerds UK are doing that.
Yeah.
They're also reading A Bargain of Silver by Josie Jaffrey. I'm so sorry, I have no idea what that is. But I hope you're enjoying it. Well done, you. Kelly Louise Priest, which is at Priest_Kelly. She's got one episode of Daredevil left to watch, and I'm on the final book of #A Discovery of Witches, because these are her words, because I'm that much of a girl and I'm okay with it.
That's fine.
That's fine, right?
Yeah, that's good.
A Discovery of Witches, I think that's a new TV show on Sky as well.
Yes.
I've not seen it.
It's not started yet. It's on Sky One.
But they're going to do the Netflix route, aren't they? They're going to dump all of it available to watch, and then they're going to also show it one episode per week, I think,
that's
aren't
right.
they?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Let us know what that's like, Kelly, because I'm sure you'll probably watch that as well. And one episode left of Daredevil Season 3. Good on her.
That's good. Good watching.
That is good watching. That is really good watching. Geek to Me Radio, which is at Geek to Me Radio. He's been watching everything. He says he's been watching Doctor Who, Arrow, Supergirl, The Flash, Walking Dead, Lethal Weapon, the TV show, DuckTales, The Gifted, which is also the TV show.
Yep.
I'm going to mess this one up. I'm going to try it as well. Shite Creek, which is spelled SCHITTS.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Daredevil, Haunting of Hill House, etc., etc.
There's a lot of watching there.
There's a lot of watching.
Is it DuckTales as in the old cartoon show?
Yeah, but it's come back. It's David Tennant as Scrooge McDuck.
No, it has not.
It has.
What channel is that on?
I think it's a Disney channel, Disney XD or something on Sky.
Are you shutting the front door?
I am opening the front door and I'm welcoming you into the truth.
Is it still got the cool theme tune as well?
I think so, yeah. DuckTales. Woo.
Just to say though, Geek to Me Radio, the fact that you're still in there with Supergirl, The Flash, and Arrow,
he's invested in the Arrowverse, yeah.
And there's lots of good things coming out on. There's loads of things on Twitter at the moment about the Arrowverse and crossover, and then there's Batgirl.
Yeah, well, she's going to be in the crossover event, as is
Elsevier or something, isn't it?
Elseworlds, I think it's going to be.
What's Elsevier?
Don't know what you're on about.
I think that's a supplier of a system.
Fair enough. Batgirl's going to be in the crossover episode. There's also, I think Superman might show back up again wearing a black suit. Yeah, it'd be fun. Thank you very much. We Have a Hulk, which is at We Have a Hulk pod. I mentioned them earlier on. Hello, Nicola and Chris. They say, woo, we've been a bit busy lately, but we finished Daredevil Season 3, which they say is excellent. Yeah. They've watched 4 episodes of the Sabrina reboot, which is surprisingly good. And, of course, the Great British Bake Off, which is
Sabrina reboot?
Always a delight. Well, do you remember the TV show in the 90s, Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
No way. Yeah.
They've remade it. It's on Netflix. It's a darker retelling of the tale.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's starring... God, I can't remember her name, but she was in Mad Men as Don Draper's little girl, Sally Draper.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've heard very good things. I don't think it's for me, but anyone who's watched it has said, do you know what, it's really good. I know, right?
So Melissa Joan Hart is no longer in it?
Melissa Joan Hart is no longer in it. There's an English actress who was in The Office, who is Jasper Carrot's daughter, is one of the aunts. Lucy someone.
Oh, right, okay.
I forget her name. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Good
nothing
time.
matters. It's important that you know that nothing matters.
No, I think there's all this TV that we don't even know about.
I know, right? There's so much on. Jack and the Geeks Talk, which is at Jack Geeks Talk. Again, watching Haunting of Hill House, Daredevil Season 3. Maniac, which I've seen on Netflix, and I don't think it's for me.
No?
I really don't think it's for me.
Okay.
Yeah. They're reading Star Wars X-Wing series, and that's just in the last week. I've got too much to consume.
Okay.
There you go. By the way, Jack and the Geeks Talk, their offshoot podcast, Jack Lads, they just released a new episode today. That's at Jack Lads. You should check that out.
Cool.
Mark, which is at Mark_outer_cryo, watched Apostle from Netflix and stopped midway through as he was on a plane. Some of the scenes were real gory, and it was just a little too gross for me, never mind people nosing in on the screen. Oh, you don't want to watch a gory or a sexy film on a plane, do you?
It's awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very awkward. It's got to be people in a room talking about things rather than violence or sex.
Stuff happening.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
He goes on to say he's also been reading the Alien Omnibus Volume 1 whilst on holiday. It's an interesting spin on what could have been in the Alien universe, but very sci-fi, which I don't think the films are. No, they're more horror, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. The Apostle, I think that's starring Dan Stevens. I think I saw the trailer for that and thought, oh, that looks like it's going to be brutal. I haven't seen it yet.
No?
No, I might get to it. Film Me Up 2 Reviews, which is at Film Me Up 2. Said, I've been watching Gary and His Demons, Series 1. I've got no idea what that is. But I do know about this, and reading Skullduggery Pleasant, Mortal Coil. They both feature magical creatures and are both very, very funny and enjoyable. Now, my son reads the Skullduggery Pleasant books and says how great they are.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're not getting involved in it?
No, I don't know. Gary and His Demons, being a TV show, if that's got magical creatures and they're both fun and very enjoyable, that might be more up my street.
Fine.
Yeah. Rock Boffy, which is at Robbie Diamonds, friend of the show, former member of the podcast. He says he can't get enough of Patricia Highsmith and that book that she's written, which is called Those Who Walk Away. Oh, no idea what that is. No idea what that is. But if I know Rob, there's a gun on the front cover. It's probably like a noir thriller crime book. It's probably great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob. Lee Goff, which is at Lee Goff1. He's given us quite a list here. He's recently watched Sabrina, DCU Titans, Doctor Who Online, and Wes Craven, all 4 of the Scream films.
Is DCU Titans isn't available here yet, is it?
I think if you wanted to get your hands on it, you may get it. And I think once they've shown all the episodes on DCU TV, whatever it is, they're going to release it on Netflix over here.
Well, it'd be nice to know what at League Off One thinks of that.
Well, I can tell you that another friend of the show, I won't say his name right now, actually, because of how he may have got his hands on it, but has seen the first couple of episodes and loves it.
Wow.
I know, right?
Cool.
That's what I'm saying. He goes on to say he's currently been reading Dark Materials by Philip Pullman.
I've read all those books already.
Oh, very good. Oh, so you do read?
Yeah, I do sometimes. Well, this is before children.
Oh, right.
Now
okay.
I just read Pepper or Wibbly Pig.
Yeah, I've heard of Wibbly Pig, yeah. Scarlet by Brian Michael Bendis and Everything's Eventual by Stephen King, and also Seven to Eternity, which is an Image Comics book, which, again, I have seen and keep on thinking I should read that one day, but I never get around to it. It's on the list. Right, last couple. Some guy called @Nate_Nerdchat. Never heard of him.
I think he's an idiot.
Sounds like a dick.
Yeah.
He's reading Eldest by Christopher Paolini, and he's watching season 3 of The Good Place.
You know The Good Place?
I've seen the first couple of episodes of the first season, really enjoyed it, just never went back to it for whatever reason.
What was it about?
Person dies,
Yeah.
and they wake up in The Good Place, which is heaven.
Oh, right.
Right?
Okay, let's move on. I don't want to talk about this.
It might not be. Anyway, 20th Century Geek _pod, which is at 20th Century Geek. Getting into the seasonal mood, reading through the complete ghost stories of M.R. James and watching The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix, which is great. So many people recommended that.
I think you need to
I'm going to jump on that this
The
weekend.
Haunting of Hill House, you need to watch it before the next pod, and then you can provide us with some updates.
I'll try.
How many are there, do you know?
I think it's 10 episodes.
You can do it.
Well, you know.
You can do anything.
I don't know if
You've
I
been
accept
driving
that
a great
challenge.
pod today, by the way.
Thank
really
you.
good pod drive.
Thank you. Finally, last audience interaction. Shakti, which is at @95Shakti95, watching Harry Potter series again in glorious 4K.
Wow, that must be good.
Oh, right, yeah, must be. Also watching The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead.
Do you watch Fear the Walking Dead?
I watched the first season and thought it was fine. I have heard nothing but good things about the later seasons. But I don't know if I've got the time to invest in so much dead people.
Well, and isn't it just the same thing?
But it's from an earlier standpoint. So, you know, like the time when Rick
Before
was...
before he was before he got knocked unconscious. And
Well,
was in a coma.
He was shot, wasn't he?
Yeah, whilst in the coma, that's when.
I think pretty much everything that's happened so far is during. Well, not so far. Maybe in the first maybe the first season is everything that happens in the 20 odd days when he's asleep,
right?
Or
Okay.
a couple of months when he's asleep, and everything after that is. I don't know.
Is it on
it's
the
just
same
another episode.
Oh no, it is on the same timeline now, isn't it? Because
Is it though? I don't know.
well, there's a crossover? It was his mate.
Morgan.
Yeah,
Morgan went
he's
from
no-
Walking Dead to
yeah,
Fear the Walking Dead. But is it current Morgan who's Zen samurai master, or is it like PTSD suffering Morgan who just wants to clean up everything?
Don't know.
Yeah, see, I don't know either.
Okay.
Someone who's watching, tell me. Shakti, tell us.
Yeah, tell us.
Finally, he's just begun reading Tina Turner's new autobiography, and my partner has encouraged me to start Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. Well, there you go. See how that's all rounded off nicely at the end there?
Really, really good, mate. You've done a great job today.
Yeah, see, I've done my best. I want to say thank you to every single person who has replied to our tweet and sent in what they've been watching, what they've been reading. I want to say thank you if you're still listening to this podcast 50 minutes in, because it's been a real nothing podcast.
What are you talking about? We've had two nerdy people chatting their faces off, enjoying and having a great time. It's been more relaxed this week for some reason. I can't really put my finger on it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Something to ponder, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's an empty chair next to you. Is that normally empty? I can't even think. Anyway, James, do you want to wrap it up and bring it home, or should I do it?
No.
I want to give you the option. I don't want to just ride roughshod over you like I've done all the way through this podcast.
Try, say thanks for tuning in.
Where can you? What social media sites are we on?
Loads.
Like.
Twitter.
Yes.
Instagram.
Yes.
Facebook.
Of course.
Podbean.
That's where you can find this podcast. It's also available on Spotify and iTunes.
You just clicked into your normal thing now. It's like, James, say Ben's magic word.
I didn't want to leave you swinging in the wind for too long. Didn't want to leave you swinging in the wind. Where else are we? You can send us an email, which is nerdschatting@outlook.com. Nate will reply to that when he's back from the Dick Doctor. And that's it. Hopefully we'll be back next week, maybe, or we'll be back the week after that. We'll be back soon. We're going to try and sort of get our arms around this a little bit more.
We basically, I put my foot in it and said, can we meet up? Not foot in it, front foot forward. That's what I'm trying to think of.
That's right, yeah.
So we meet up and then we can do something and get a decent menu back.
We'll get a good schedule going on again. There we go. Right, that's it. Thanks very much for tuning in, everyone. We'll be back soon.
Cheers.
Bye.
From the entire Channel 4 News team, I'm Veronica Corningstone.
And I'm Ron Burgundy. Go fuck yourself, San Diego.